Hey, this is Hans from Dakota Angler and Outfitter. Today we're going to tie a very simple fly, but an extremely effective one. It's the WD-40, and it's a great fly for beginners to tie. It does an awesome job of imitating small mayfly nymphs, and I think sometimes in our streams they also take it for a black fly larva. This is a scud style or merger hook, TMCO 2487. Some olive thread. You can tie these in several color combinations. I'm going to tie an olive variation. Make a nice thread base by wrapping the thread to the back of the hook. For tailing fibers and for the wing case, use the same clump of feather fibers. The original fly used mallard flank. I'm going to use coq-de-leon hackle fibers because they're much more durable than mallard. You can fish this fly a lot longer before your tails fall off with this coq-de-leon. I've got a long clump here. Make a nice loose catching wrap at the back of the hook. Add a second wrap. I'm going to check those for length. I'm going to pull those in a little shorter, about 3/4 of the hook shank in length. Now, while keeping the fibers on the top of the hook shank, nice touching wraps. Wrap that to the front of the hook. I'm going to fold those fibers back just before I get to the eye and capture them down. So I've got the fibers up, pull them back, come back a third of the way back on the hook shank. Now we'll take some dubbing. Use something that you can dub fairly tight. I'm going to use some UV ice dubbing just to add a little flash to the fly. I've got light olive. I'm going to make a little rope of dubbing. And then I'll start wrapping on this fly. What you're aiming for on the thorax of the fly is a nice tight ball of dubbing. So after you make a couple of wraps of dubbing, go ahead and tighten your dubbing up again with your thumb and forefinger. I'll have a little extra dubbing here I'm going to have to peel off. But I want a nice fat little ball. After I've peeled off the excess dubbing, I'll just twist up the last remaining fibers. Add those onto the ball of dubbing there. And sink my thread in front of the thorax. Trim off any excess dubbing fibers that might be hanging out. Now I'll take the remaining hackle fibers and pull those over the back of the fly. Tie those down. Once those are securely tied down, trim off the excess fibers. Wrap a few more wraps and then do a whip finish. And get those trimmed as tight as I wanted there. There we go. Didn't want to cover up the eye. Lost a couple of my hackle fibers there. Trim those off and then do our whip finish. Trim off our thread. Finish the fly with some fly tight head cement. Just coat those thread wraps to ensure that the fly is going to last a few extra casts. coat that head. Also put a little bit on those fibers on the back. And if you want, since it's a thread-bodied fly, you can even add a little bit to the back of the fly. Now, it's a very simple fly to tie, but it's extremely effective in streams that have a lot of Baetis mayfly nymphs. And that's most of the streams here in the Black Hills, but that's typical of a lot of western and midwestern trout streams. Little Baetis nymphs, and they can be a primary food source for trout in those streams. So having this fly in a few different colors in sizes 18 and 20 can be tremendously effective. Fish it as a dropper below something like an attractor pattern such as a copper john. Very easy fly to tie. WD-40. I'm Hans from Dakota Angler and Outfitter in Rapid City, South Dakota. Check this and other videos out at our website, flyfishsd.com, and you can purchase the materials to tie these flies at flyfishsd.com. Thanks for watching.